guys, what's going on? It's RC Knockout and I am back with another video. Now if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Nolan. In today's video I have got another upgrade for the cheapest Traxxas Slash Project. Now before I go into what this upgrade is, I want to share with you guys real quick something that I really dislike. Body clips. I don't like them. I don't like them at all, guys. I lose them all the time. I drop them. They bend. They pull through the body. There's just so many issues. I don't like them. So that's going to lead into what we're upgrading today, guys. We are going with this right here. This right here is the no-clip body mount for the Traxxas Slash two-wheel drive. Fits the stock Traxxas bodies only. This is a fairly extensive install. So there's a lot you have to do, and it only fits certain bodies. So it only fits actual Traxxas bodies. So you actually have to look at the website to see what the compatible bodies are. So that's what we're doing in today's video, guys. We go ahead, resituate the camera, and we're gonna jump right in this video. Alrighty guys, now that I have the camera resituated, now we can talk about this upgrade and really dive into this. So this right here, this is not the body I'm gonna use. This right here is the cheapest Traxxas Slash body. I'm gonna pull it off real quick. The reason why we are replacing this again is because I broke this right here. Because I kept on losing body clips. I didn't know why. I didn't realize it was broken right here. So the clips kept on coming out. And the thing is, you have to replace this entire piece. You can't just replace this on the four-wheel drive. You can just replace this pedestal piece right here just by unscrewing it underneath. This, unfortunately, on the two-wheel drive is all one piece. Front ones you can replace. The rear ones are all one piece, so I had to replace it. I've already replaced this once, so I didn't want to do it again. That's why we're going to go ahead and do this clipless body, guys. The thing is, I don't want to use this body right here. It's starting to show some wear. We got some cracks in it. There's where the tape's showing. It's just not in the greatest shape. I did Gorilla Tape this body, and it's still holding up pretty decent, but not where I want to go ahead and throw this super expensive clipless body mount system on. So that's why I am going to be using this body right here, guys. This right here is the identical body to this one, just with a different color scheme. But this is the one that I shoe-gooed. So this one's all shoe-gooed up. In hindsight, I probably should have done all this before I ever shoe-gooed this body. I did not think about it, because the shoe-goo is going to be much more difficult, because we do have to drill holes, and we will have to do some cutouts to make this actual clipless body mount work. Still got a bunch of shoe-goo that I got, unfortunately, on the outside of the body that I'll have to use an X-Acto knife or use something, some solution to get it off. Alright guys, so first things first, I'm going to go ahead and rip this open. Now if you guys are wondering what the part number is, 70860. There's a lot of bits that go with this, a lot of screws. We're going to jump into that, but actually we're going to start with this, because the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get off the stock body mount. And the easiest way to access these screws, we're going to pull off the rear bumper completely. And the rear bumper is held on with 2.5s. I'm going to go ahead and grab my 2.5 mil right here, guys. And we're just going to go ahead and get this rear bumper off altogether. Alright guys, and I got all 4 of them out. So now the bumper comes off. So now we can access these 4 screws. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws there. And those are all, those look to be 2mm. There's 1. There's 2. There's number 3. And here's the 4th one that comes off, and then this whole piece comes off like such. And we're going to set that aside, and then we're going to talk about what we need to put on this, and that would be the rear body mount. So let's see, it's going to be this piece right here, this piece, and these pieces, I believe. So we got to get these pieces right here cut out. Once you get all that stuff cut out, what you're going to do is we need this piece right here, and we need these new 2 feet pieces right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab, these are actually supplied right here. We're going to go right here in these flanges right here. These are going to screw onto them, and you guys can see the adjustment. You have all those different holes you can put them in. I just watched the video. The video said that we want to put them in the 2nd and the 4th hole if we want it to sit. If we want the body to sit about as high as the stock one does. Alrighty guys, I actually made a mistake, so do not reference this part of the video, because I actually installed that backwards, so don't install it the way I installed it. I'm actually going to insert a picture of what it's supposed to look like, because I figured out I had it wrong by the end of the video. So I'll insert a picture right now, how it is supposed to be orientated. So we're going to go ahead, put the screw through here like that, and then we're going to get started screwing it into the second hole. So like I said guys, the second and the fourth hole. Alright, so there's the second hole. This is going to be the fourth one down here. We're going to use another one of these supplied screws and start screwing that in. Alright, and with all of them screwed all the way in, they're almost poking through the other side, but those are the shortest screws that it provided for us. So that's what we used. But that's what it should look like, guys. These little bump pieces should be pointed upward, and you just screw into the second and the fourth hole on this, and then we're going to do the exact same thing on this one that then goes on the other side, which I'm just going to go ahead and do off camera, and then I'm going to catch up with you guys once I get that completed. Once you get that completed, it should look a little something like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start assembling the radiator, which this is actually the locking and unlocking mechanism. So we're going to grab this, which is the radiator fan, the top piece. Here's the actual fan, and these little dimples right here on the fan, these need to point downward. So when we put this on, they're going to face down, like such. So we got to take this out. This right here is the radiator top piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, put this through the hole right there, and then what we have to do is we have to get these pedestals, and if you guys can see, there's a little like locking key piece, so it fits in there like a puzzle, and you're just going to go ahead, put that through. And you know what guys, the thing I noticed is there's supposed to be nuts with this. There's supposed to be a nut with this, I believe, and there is not. I think maybe they forgot to provide some stuff in the kit for me, because I'm not seeing any. I'll have to go back and look at the video, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to come with some a nut that goes in here, and then you tighten a long screw through here. I'm not seeing that. So after searching off camera for about 10 minutes, I had to go find my own supplied screws, because looking at this right here, an M3 lock nut. Number one, I didn't get any package with a lock nut, so no lock nuts were provided, and I'm supposed to have a 25mm by M3 button head screw. So it says that right in here, right in this section if you want to read it. None of that stuff's there. There's no lock nuts, so I had to go find my own little lock nuts. Come on, RPM. And I also determined, looking at it, they didn't even give me the right supplied ones. These ones were supposed to be, these ones, no wonder they stick out. They're only supposed to be M3 by 10mm that go in here. That's why they're almost sticking out the backside, because the only size they gave me were these, and these are probably 16 mil, maybe? Yeah, these ones were too long that I put into there, so they just have 3 packets of the exact same size screws. That's all that was supplied to me in my RPM kit, so that kind of sucks. I could use these, and actually I might use these. These ones are much longer right here, but they're not button head, and if I use these ones are going to extend out a little bit further, but it's not that big of a deal. So basically these ones extend through like this. Then remember, we put the fan on, and the fan is going to be pointed with these dimples downward, and then this can go through here like such. So yeah, it looks a little weird, but it would still work. It should still work fine having that one instead of a button head one, but hopefully your kit comes with it. And then what you can do is you can go ahead and put this piece over, and then the locking key locks in, and then we have got a nut which should come in your kit, hopefully. And then I'm going to start tightening this through, and this is actually 2.5mm. It would be a 2 mil for the ones that should be supplied. So yeah, guys, that's just kind of a headache. That's one of those things. It seems to happen fairly frequently for me that not everything's in the kit, and it's very annoying. And you want this tight enough where it's tight, but you also still want to be able to turn it, and that's too tight. So I'm going to back this off a little bit. And that seems good right there. That sticks out a little bit further, but I don't think that's going to be any issue. So moving on, I'm going to go ahead, get the other side done, use the same screw, and then we're going to move on to the next part. Alright guys, so I got to this point right here where the fan shrouds are on. So looking at the next step, guys, I was missing more pieces because I didn't get any packet with lock nuts in it, so I had to go find my own. So I had to find 4 of those, and these did come supplied, and these ones should work. It's supposed to be 12mm. These might be a smidge longer. And basically what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go ahead and attach this piece onto here. So it's just going to go like this, and the lock nuts are supposed to go on the inside. So basically, start screwing this through. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other 3 sides off camera, and I'll be right back with you guys. Once you get all those on, it should look a little something like this. So your lock nuts are going to be on the inside. So what we're going to do, guys, is this piece right here is going to go in place right here. So the thing it showed on the video is make sure that this right here, the shock tower, goes in between these 2 pieces like this. So this is the piece, and of these 3 holes right here, we're going to want to put it in the top 2 holes on each side. So, and we're going to use the existing screws. So you can see on this shock tower, here's the 4 screws, right, or the 4 screw holes, I should say. And you're just going to go down, and it's going to go down like that. And then we're going to use the ones that we took off, which were these 4 right here. And then we're going to go ahead and screw this on. Alright, and once you get those 4 tightened down, guys, we have got the rear portion of the back mount on. Once you got that rear mount installed, you can go ahead and reinstall your rear bumper if you took it off. And now we're going to move on to the front, guys. And here's the 2 front pieces right here. And I just had to rewatch the video because I couldn't remember, but this right here, the RPM logo is going to face downward. Even though you'd think it would face upward, the actual engraved logo faces downward. And the same thing on the back, we put it in the 2nd and the 4th hole. You guys can see all the adjustability that there is quite a bit. But we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to put it in the 2nd and the 4th hole. It's not supposed to almost be popping through like that, but that's the only size that they gave me, and it'll work, I guess. Now, guys, it should look like this. And now what we have to do is we have to attach it to the existing shock tower, and we're going to use the middle holes right here. But to make this easier to actually access the screw, we have to get the stock one off. But what we're going to do is we're going to take off these 3 screws right here, and then the 3 up top. On the video it shows 2, but I think we have to remove all 3. So let's see, the one in the middle, that's a 2.5 mil. And all the ones on the bottom are 2.5 as well. There's one. Got to remove the 2 mils that are right here. Okay, I got one of the 2 mils out. You probably don't have to do this. You can probably access the screw, but this makes it easier, and I don't want to strip the screw, so that's why we're doing it this way. Got the second 2 mil, and then on the bottom it's going to be these 3 2.5 millimeters. Got one. Got 2, and here's the last one right here. And 3. And then the whole front shock tower, basically, the whole bulkhead is now loose. And now it's going to be much easier to access the screw that we need to access. These are 2mm screws. It might be 2.5 on what you're using. I've changed a lot of stuff on this to make it work with this shock tower. So I'm not sure on yours for a stock one if it's going to be a 2 mil like this or a 2.5. Alright, now that's off. And then this is going to go in its place. So we're going to want to use the middle hole. I'll make it work. I'm going to do this off camera. I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, after a bunch of time, and I actually had to drill out the holes so they'd line up a little better. You shouldn't have any of these issues. A lot of this has to do with aftermarket parts clashing. So this Atomic RC shock tower, which had alignment issues to begin with, it was difficult to line the holes up, and I had to line them up with the back of the screws, the end of the screws that are coming through this. So I had a difficult time screwing them back in. Reinstalled the 2 mils that go up here, the 2.5 up here, and you can get the 3 that go underneath in the 2.5s. And once you reinstall that, then we can move on to, we're finally done with the installation of the body mount onto the actual RC, then we can move on to actually the body. And we get this template right here. So this template, we need to cut these pieces out. So there's different types of Traxxas Slash bodies, I guess, but the ones with the number plate, which this is a number plate right here, the ones with the number plate, you cut to the further edge. So I guess they have Traxxas Slash bodies that don't have number plates, so you're just going to have to look into it. If yours has a number plate thing here, you're going to want to cut it out to the edge of the number plate dash line, which is the bigger one basically. And the same thing's true on this part right here. So you want to try to cut these templates as close to the dash line as possible, because then these holes need to line up, because that's where you're going to drill holes. Right here, back edge of the number plate passenger cabin. So what that means is we're going to put it right here, and we want to center it. And there is dimples, I guess, underneath of this, but I can't see them. Like, they actually show the center line. That should be pretty much centered. And then what you're going to want to do, guys, you're going to want to tape it down. All right, guys, and once you got it taped down, it's going to look like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drill out these holes right here, and then we also have to cut out this part of the template. This is where it's going to be kind of difficult for me since I already shoe glued the body. It says 3.2 millimeter holes. That's what it says right on here. I'd say that's pretty spot on, the drill bit that I have. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drill right through while it's on there. And hopefully it'll be in the proper location. This thing's running out of juice too. Okay, I got one of the holes done. It does say what you're supposed to do is just mark it. So what you should be doing is marking it with a marker, like cut that little bit out right here, and then mark it with a marker and then drill the hole, but okay, and then the top two holes, so right here. Alright guys, and then you need to get this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and make 4 holes around the edges. So that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to make 4 holes around the edges so I kind of know where to cut out. Because that, I think I'm going to cut out with like an X-Acto knife maybe. So that tells me right there. Another one right up here. And the same thing on this side. I'm going to do one up here. Yeah, definitely much more difficult to drill through. Much more difficult to drill through since I put the shoe goo and drywall tape on the other side. So if you guys are doing it with a body that you plan on shoe gooing, make sure to install this before you shoe goo, I'd say. And then you can just take all the brackets and stuff off the mounting pieces so you don't get shoe goo all over them, and then reinstall them. But you're going to want to probably have these holes cut. Alright, and you guys can kind of see what I've done. So I'm going to then cut around this once I get this out, and I'm going to cut this a little bit bigger so the feet of this will fit in here nicer, because right now it's a very tight squeeze for these feet. So that first template goes and you tape it to the outside of the body. Now for the front, this front template actually goes inside of the body, and as you guys can see, for a number plate model body, this is going to be the windshield portion right here, and this is the front of the truck. And you want to get this as center as possible. It's going to be kind of difficult with this shoe glued body, but it's basically going to go right up against this windshield part right here, and you're just going to want to get it as centered as you possibly can, which I'm just going to have to do by eye. And then I'm going to go ahead, get a dab of tape, tape it down. Might not even tape down on this, on the shoe goo very well. I might just have to hold it. There's one. Shit. There's 2. One there. Last one right here. Alright guys, I got all the holes cut to the template, but then you're done with the template pieces, and then basically you got to cut these pieces out. So what I just drilled, I now need to cut those pieces out. I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll be right back with you guys. I was going to use an X-Acto knife, but it's easier just to use the Lexan cutting scissors. Cut out those. You want to cut those out a little bit bigger than the little feet on here. So as you guys can see, you want it to be able to go through the holes. So what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to go ahead and attach this stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the front mount, and the RPM logo is going to be facing downward. So it's going to look like this. And it's going to line up with the holes that you drilled, or it should. We're going to grab these screws right here and those little washers that came in the kit. And then we're just going to go ahead and try to line up the holes. You guys can see how those washers are going to protect the body. Hopefully it won't break through the body. Now that I got all 4 of those through, we're going to take this piece right here. Like I said, the RPM logo should be facing downward, and it's going to go like this, and we're going to have to try to line all of them up. I wish Traxxas would come up with a latching system from factory. That would be nice, because like I said, I don't like body clips. I think a lot of you guys probably don't like body clips either. You always lose them. Whenever I take them off, I accidentally knock the body over or something, or I set them down, I never can find all of them again. So, it's very annoying. And then they're always sometimes difficult to get on and off, and it's just an extra hassle having to remove 4 little clips rather than just unlatch something. But basically, once you get all of these tightened all the way down, then the front piece will be on. Alright guys, I got all of them tightened down, and that's how it should look on the outside with the body washers and the screws, and there's how it looks on the underneath part. Now we're going to move on to the back portion where we install this radiator piece. And this is going to go like such. It's going to go like that, and then hopefully the holes line up. And then we got to screw it from underneath with some screws, which I actually have to go find some because I don't even have the right size. I think I found 4 screws that'll work. I'm guessing roughly around that size. And also I guess we're supposed to put washers, and it didn't come with washers, so I got my own, which I just dropped one. Okay, I got one of them started. Actually, I think for the most part they're all going to kind of line up. I just now need to get it all snugged down, which I think I'm going to do off camera, guys, because this is going to take me a bit of time. But you guys can kind of see what's going on. The feet go through here. You screw from the back side, and you screw into here until that's tightened all the way down. And then I'll wrap up the video with you guys in just a few minutes. Alright guys, I've got it finished. For the most part, it went together all right. It was very difficult to... it was very time consuming, but the thing I do have to say is it's not the easiest to take on and off. The first thing I noticed is the good thing is this mount is bendable. Oh, and the other thing real quick, guys, is I had this on backwards. So earlier in the video when I said it goes on this side and this thing points this way, it's the opposite. These screw from the front side, and then you have this part behind it, and this bracket points forward. The good thing this bracket's bendable because it did not line up. And it's kind of tricky because you have to get the body. You gotta get this piece right in here. This piece right here has to fit right in there. And that's not the hard part. The hard part is lining up these little feet to go in here. Because there's a little feet you guys can see on the body. But I'll try to show you guys. But right there, that's easy enough. Clips in like such. And then that's how the front goes on. But then getting this back portion lined up was the difficult part because the mount moves quite a bit actually. This mount under here is quite bendable. So actually to get it to line up is not the easiest thing in the world. I kind of have to push down and manipulate it. It's almost easiest just get your hand up underneath there and push up on the mount because the mount is flexing, and that's where the issue's coming from. Because that mount is flexing. If the mount didn't flex, we wouldn't have any issue. Alright. And then there it's on. So anyway, guys, we will see going forward whether or not this was worth it. But if you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. I look forward to seeing you guys in another video. We need to test this body out with the shoe goo, and we also need to test out this mount and see how well this holds up. Hopefully the plastic will be good considering its RPM. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and also hit the notification bell so then you'll be notified when I do come out with new videos. Alright, see you later, guys.